Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. It is a Tuesday and it is time for me to come live again from the beautiful city of Hamilton in New Zealand. As always, I'm coming live on Facebook on the AJV Global page, and it will also get shared to my personal profile as well. And I'm also coming live on Instagram. That's for all you guys to say hi on Instagram. And I'm also coming live on YouTube, on our Facebook, sorry, on our AJV Global YouTube channel, as well as on my own YouTube channel called Arun Jacob. And I have quite a few followers there on the my personal YouTube channel. And we're beginning to pick up some wonderful viewers and followers from Instagram as well. So big hello to all of you on Instagram, which is coming streaming to you from my mobile phone. And then I have my wonderful gaming laptop through which I am able to stream on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, guys, so another Tuesday, and the only thing that has changed is that I have gone live at another time rather than my usual 12 o'clock India time. But today I was out at a session being conducted at the University of Waikato by somebody called Professor Francis, who was speaking about a very interesting topic on how immigration or migration is based on geography and on desire as well. So it was kind of very interesting to go there and sit and listen to Professor Francis at the beautiful auditorium at the University of Waikato, and my colleague Mary also came in and joined me there at the University of Waikato, and it was good to sit there because Mary is also a licensed immigration advisor like myself, and I think it is important for us not only to be at the forefront of the migration industry and the migration business as it is, but I think it's important for us who are at this forefront to understand what are some of the underlying factors that drive global migration. And so, because of that, it was wonderful to be there. And as always, before I start, I would like to share my license, my immigration license issued by the government of New Zealand. I think it's coming as a mirror image on Instagram, but okay, I can see it is coming pretty straight here on Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, so I'm called the licensed immigration advisor, and to get that license, I had to undergo a course in one of the polytechnics here in New Zealand, and also undergo police verifications and various other things to ensure that I am capable of providing good and genuine immigration advice to New Zealand, to all the wonderful people out there who would like to migrate to New Zealand either directly or through the pathway of education. So that's what we're here for. So our team currently consists of three licensed immigration advisors. There's myself, and then there is Mary Joseph, who is our senior manager, and then quite recently we've had another colleague called Tulika Mehra, who was a former immigration officer. So she also finished this course and the first few papers, which will allow her to get the initial license. So she also has it. In fact, Tulika went live last week, and we've been kind of busy pulling her legs a little bit, telling her she made a fantastic impact. And yeah, it was great. So that's what it is. And so I'm back live again, as always, on Tuesday. And as same as last time, I'm having some trouble in trying to get my questions on Facebook. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to share my screen, or maybe not, or I'm just gonna share a screenshot of this to my wonderful team who supports me in the background. And so, Jyoti and Sai, if you guys can kind of understand why I don't get my feed in Facebook. It'll help me to, kind of maybe toggle at something and bring back the questions. It used to work just fine before, but it kind of stopped working quite recently. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the rules, and the rules are that if you're an AJV client, you will need to identify yourself and say, "Hey, look, I'm an AJV student or prospect already in touch with the team," and that's good enough for me to answer your question. And if you're not an AGV client or student, I would really request you to share your contact number so that we can get back to you and speak to you after this session is done and connect with you and give you more information. First and foremost, guys and girls, migration directly or through education is not an easy pathway, and some people will try and make it sound like it's a bed of roses, but it is not. There is a lot of clarity you need to get. You need to get a lot of information, and then because it's a life changing moment, and it's a massive decision for anybody to let go of the country that you're born and brought up in and to move to some other country and establish yourself, whether you're single or you're married with kids, or in a relationship. It's a massive decision for anybody to take, and I understand that, that which is why people require a lot of information and genuine services. That's what AJB is all about. So if you share your number, we'll get back and give you a call, and instead of you having to rely on the half-baked knowledge of people who have probably never been even New Zealand ever, why don't you talk to people like us who are based here in New Zealand? And then I have this wonderful team of my colleagues in India. We are 35 people in New Zealand and India put together, and this consists of 3 licensed immigration advisors, a bunch of ex-immigration officers, and a whole lot of other professionals who have been in the industry for a very long time. And with us, we are like this in your face. See, look at me. I'm sitting here right now and talking to you guys directly, eye to eye, face to face contact. That's the kind of company we are. We like to hit the nail on the head and just be very point blank and tell you that yeah, it is possible. This is the pathway for you into New Zealand, or no, it's not possible, and you're definitely not ready to come into New Zealand. So don't waste your money, time, and effort. So we have people like that. So that's what. So please share your number so that we can call and speak to you. In the meantime, I'm trying to see if my team has asked me, has tried to give me any fix for my problem, why I'm not able to get the questions on Facebook. But I'm going to start by answering a question which I received through my email from one of our from one of our AJV students called Deepika. And Deepika wrote to me, and I promised her, because I couldn't pick up the phone and speak to her. So I promised Deepika that I will answer her question. So she wrote saying, "Dear Mr. Jacob, happy to inform you that I've got offer for study from AUT University for Masters of Business and International Business, as well as Otago University, Master of Business, International Business, and Victoria University, Master of International Trade." And she goes on to say she appreciates Jagriti's wonderful effort. Jagriti being one of my colleagues who works in India. So well done, Jagriti. And then Deepika goes on to write that, "Please be informed that I was interested in Master of International Business and location Wellington, but in Wellington I had only one option for Victoria University, starting in March 29 intake, because MBA International Business in Victoria has November 2020 intake, which will be late. So today I received offer from Victoria, but the course of international trade is under Department Faculty of Law. I have few queries which I want to discuss with you to reach on any conclusion. Master of International Trade is considered MBA, or is it a different master degree?" So Deepika, I'll start off by answering your first question. The Master of International Trade is not a MBA. It is the separate master in itself, but it is a master's degree. Could you please let me know job and career opportunities for international trade in comparison to international business? I think you're unnecessarily getting confused between the words trade and business, because quite frankly, they are synonymous. So, I mean, they're quite interchangeable in terms of trade and business. So I don't think there will be a vast difference between the two of them. In fact, interestingly, there might be a little difference between the words international and global. I think international, by and large, pertains to business or trade between a smaller set of countries, whereas global is a bit more all encompassing. So I don't think you should get confused unnecessarily between those two words with trade and business, because essentially they both mean the same. Which degree is better if we target for PR? It does not matter, because, like I said, they both really mean the same. And I think the most important thing, if you're targeting a permanent residency eventually, is that you need to have adequate time and adequate runway to be able to complete your course. And after you complete your course, you need that adequate runway and time in New Zealand to be able to find a relevant job and go on to pick up that relevant job, which will lead to your residency and eventual your permanent residency. And in terms of the opportunities, I mean, there are plenty of opportunities for somebody who does a master's in international business or international trade, because, especially for countries like New Zealand, which rely very heavily on international trade, because we are this country far flung from the rest of the world. We are in the South Pacific. So we need to have a lot of imports and exports, which obviously means that we rely very heavily on imports and exports, which in a sense is your international trade or international business. And of course, there will be other elements to it as well. And the important thing about why I think the University of Victoria has it under the Faculty of Law is because international business would have more facets of legalities when you're doing business between two different countries. So that's the reason I think they very cleverly have it under the Faculty of Law. But we will get more details for you about it. But bottom line, I went through both the offers that you shared with me, and I think. It really also boils down to the fact that you also have an offer from AUT, which is Master of Business in International Business, and AUT University is also a very good university. But what I found as of particular interest when I went through both the offer letters that you received was that the AUT fees is lesser than the fees at the Victoria International, the International Business course from Victoria University. So, in case finance is an issue, you might want to opt for AUT purely because um, it's lesser in terms of fees, and but it doesn't mean that it will be lesser in quality. And at the end of the day, because you're doing a master's, whether you do it in Auckland or whether you do it in Wellington, you will end up with a 3 years post-study work visa, which is a runway that you're required to be able to go and find yourself a job. You could potentially find jobs in the government departments of New Zealand, or in businesses in New Zealand, which are into import export, and various other opportunities will present themselves. So one step at a time. Don't project too far ahead. Come into New Zealand, come for the course. Either one of these masters is really good, to be honest. And like I said, if money is also a factor, try and look at the fee factor as well, and that might give you an answer. All right, Deepika. So as promised, I have answered your question, and in the meantime, I believe you would have also spoken to my colleague Nishanti, who is a senior manager and also works as my executive assistant. So sometimes when I can't pick up the phone and speak to you guys, Nishanti steps in and speaks on my behalf. And she's somebody who's been with me like forever, 15 years now. So yeah, she knows as much as I do. All right. Okay, cool. Next question. My team is not able to tell me why I'm not getting my Facebook feed, but what I might do is quickly fiddle with Facebook a little bit to see if I can bring back the event. There's something called event log. Hmm. Okay. Anyhow, my wonderful team has been pasting the questions here for me in Skype, and as always, they kind of are in the background. There's a whole bunch of them who keep typing the questions to me on Skype. So, next question is from Ronnie George, and one second. In the top right-hand corner screen, there are three dots. Click on it, and then click on turn on live notifications. Okay. Click. I can't see live notifications. No, I don't see that when I click on those three dots, Ruben. I'm sending you another screenshot so you guys can hopefully try and figure this out for me. Okay, but in the meantime, good to know that I have the questions here. So Ronnie George says, "Hello Arun, my wife is an AJV student coming to OPAIC, which is Otago Polytechnic, Auckland International Campus. We got the interview call today, but waiting for decision. Let me know what all arrangement will be done, AJV, when she reaches Auckland, since she comes alone. Okay, Ronnie, first and foremost, we are not babysitters, and I think I keep saying that in each and every session of mine, is that we are here to provide a pathway into New Zealand to mature, older, strong people, students who are coming in. And I live in a society where people of 16, 17, 18 are completely independent, and they do everything that is possible. So if you're expecting us to be at the airport, and I don't know what your expectations are, but what we have done is we have arranged we have actually hired one of our students who is studying right now in New Zealand, called Anjana. She is working part time for AJB. So she's the international student coordinator who are all the people about to arrive into New Zealand. So I would suggest that you ask your visa officer, whoever is in AJV, to connect your wife to Anjana, and Anjana and your wife can connect and have a Skype call, and then Anjana can tell her as much of information as possible, including accommodation. And we'll also try to network. And by and large, actually, Anjana can also add her to our AJV only clients Facebook group. And normally, when you post there and say, "Hey, look, I'm coming here. Anybody looking for another tenant to come into the house and all that?" So that's when that networking also begins to happen. So best thing, Ronnie, would be that you will best is to connect your wife to Anjana. And if you don't know how to reach out to Anjana directly, just ask your AJV visa officer, and he or she will connect your wife to Anjana, and then Anjana will pick it up and take it forward from this. So there is Anjana, there is Virginia, there is Mary, there is myself, and there is Nicola. So we are all here in New Zealand to help our newcomers. But at the same time, as I told you, we do not like to be babysitters. We like to be people who will stand as support, but we expect people coming into New Zealand to be grown up enough and mature enough and confident enough to start finding their own way going forward. But from our side, yes, we will help with the initial coming in. If she is looking for accommodation, we'll try and give some options to her, and also connect her to some of our students who may be looking to also getting some flatmates. And Anjana will also help her with how to get her IRD number card. And I think my team would have also sent you a welcome guide. So please read it carefully. Unfortunately, a lot of our students don't read it because it's a nice lengthy document which talks at length about everything, including what the power plugs and sockets and everything else that you need to do once you reach New Zealand. So have a read of that and connect to Anjana, and your wife will be sorted, Ronnie. All right, cool. Okay, Suza G asks, is there any university which accepts overall 6 and individual 5.5 in IELTS for PG studies? Unfortunately, no, Suza, because, if I look at the table of admissions for getting into a postgraduate diploma, which is a level 8, you require an academic score in IELTS of 6.5 with no score less than 6. So unless and until you have that, you will not be able to get an admission into a PG postgraduate course in any university in New Zealand. So I think the best option for you, if you're keen to get into a postgraduate course here in New Zealand, would be to try and write your IELTS again, because you're quite close. You have an overall 6, and individually you're getting 5.5. So if you can push it up point 0.5, in both the places, which is in overall and individually 6 in each one, then you don't have to bargain with anybody to give you an admission. You can pretty much, if you, the rest of your academics and everything else is good, you should be able to get it. All right, cool. All right, moving on. Chetan Surya says, hi Arun, Kia ora Chetan, Ketapefia Kwe, Tenakwe, which is, hello Chetan, how are you? And Tenakwe is also another greeting in Maori, which is the same as Kia ora. I'm AJV client, fantastic. Thank you so much for choosing AJV Chetan. You know, you're the kind of smart young people who are doing good research and picking up good companies like AJV because, once you guys land here is when the real drama starts. So I'm glad you're picking a company that's present in New Zealand and genuinely, concerned for all of you guys. So how was SIT College in Invercargill and part-time jobs over there? And how is it jobs after completing from Invercargill? Regarding Wintec Hamilton College, do we get the scholarship for PG diploma? Second, after completing PG diploma level 8, are we eligible for 3 years work visa? And are we eligible for PR, or else do we need to choose masters to qualify for PR? Okay, I'm Chetan, I'm surprised you're asking me all these questions because if you are an HAV client and student, I'm sure my team would have already given you all these details to you. But anyway, because you asked me, I'm going to answer them. SIT, Southern Institute of Technology in Invercargill, no problem. Good institution, owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. Yeah, so no problem. Invercargill is a slightly smaller city as compared to most other cities in New Zealand. In fact, if you go look at the populations of the different cities across New Zealand, so Invercargill would be relatively smaller as compared to Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, Hamilton, Dunedin. So obviously it will be a smaller city, but will there be part-time opportunities? Definitely there will be part-time opportunities. I have come across quite a few of our students and other known clients live in Invercargill, and they're all doing quite well at the moment, and we will also connect you to some of them. As regards Hamilton Wintec or Waikato Institute of Technology, shortly in a short form called Wintec, is also an institute of technology owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. It's based in Hamilton, and if you do a PG diploma, there are scholarships. I don't know. I mean, check with your AJV advisor because I don't have all the scholarship information stored away inside my head. But I don't think there are any scholarships at the moment being offered. And please bear in mind, scholarships are quite rare because at the end of the day, international education is all about earning money from international students. Let's keep it as simple as, I mean, you guys will need to understand that international education is primarily for New Zealand institutions to earn money from international students because that's the way the world trade is developing, and not just New Zealand but Australia, UK, Canada, US, Ireland. Everybody has got a very robust international education sector because they're trying to raise some money, and they want it to be profitable. So which is the reason there are not a lot of scholarships that are normally offered for international students because these institutions expect you to come and pay the full fees. So that should be my second answer to you. And after you complete your postgraduate diploma level 8, are you eligible for your 3 years post-study work visa? Yes. Does not matter from which part of the country you're doing it. Yes, you will definitely be eligible for 3 years post-study work visa. And are you eligible for PR? PR is your residency. It depends on whether you find yourself a relevant job after you complete your course, and that job will then give you the required number of points to apply for a residency. It's not necessary you'll have to do a master's, although there is a clause in the immigration law which says that if you do a 2 years master's, you could potentially apply for a direct residency, but provided you get 160 points, which is a calculated for your age, your qualification, your work experience, and by and large, only people who are married, who have a spouse, with a good qualification and also have about 10 years of work experience and end up doing a 2 years masters in New Zealand or PhD will end up getting to that 160. So I don't think you should stress too much about the masters aspect of it. My advice to you is simple, Chetan. Come into New Zealand, pick a good college or a city. Does not matter whether it's Hamilton or Invercargill. Go check to see which is the course that is more dearer to you. When you read it, what reaches out from your heart is more important. What connects to you mentally and with your heart is important, which by which I mean the papers really. So have a look at the papers and see what is it that appeals to you. And then after you complete your course, even if you're studying in Invercargill, you can of course move from there and pick up a job in any other city across New Zealand. So absolutely not a problem. So don't worry about the masters. Come into New Zealand, finish your postgraduate diploma, pick your 3 years post-study work visa, start applying for jobs everywhere across the country. And the moment you find a job, more than likely you will cross that 160 points threshold so that you can go ahead and apply for a resident visa. All right, Chetan, I hope I've answered that clearly to you. I'm sure my team has already explained to you. You have not mentioned who is your advisor, but you, we guys are good in what we do. So I'm sure you already got the best advice possible. Okay, cool. All right. I have a very excited AJV client called Shamal Parekh. So Shamal writes, I would like to thank Team AJV and great special thanks to Grace Daniel, who is one of our visa officers. I received AIP with FTS already, AIP being approval in principle, with FTS meaning funds transfer scheme. So just a few steps before I get my e-visa. So much excited. Shamal, so happy for you. I mean, that's the whole reason we guys exist, is to do a good, honest process and get this joyful comments back from our clients, and then even more joyful when we actually get to meet you in New Zealand is really what keeps us going as well. So thank you for that feedback. And I'll pass it on to Grace that you complimented her. And I have a question though. Should I feel lucky? Uh, as I received interview call and approval email in less than a month after launching the visa application, which wasn't expected considering visa delays. Okay. Shamal, absolutely. I mean, you should feel lucky because if you look at YouTube and Facebook, it's filled with people screaming and tearing their hair and their clothes, saying, "Oh, my visa is still not coming through. It's been months and months since I filed, but it is not coming." So it could be a few factors there. First and foremost, let's give um, kudos to Immigration New Zealand because they got stuck in a very bad place when there was a sudden surge of applications, and they were also restructuring at the same time. But looks like they have brought on additional forces and brought on people and trained them and kind of managing the situation quite nicely now. That could be one factor. So big pat on the back to Immigration New Zealand for kind of getting back into the kind of pace at which they used to work before. Second, it could just be your individual profile because at the end of the day, what is Immigration New Zealand there to do is to pick and choose the right people who are genuine students, who have clear funds, who have the right intention, who have the correct English, and who have the sincerity of purpose and the correct academic and work track record. So that's really what. So obviously you ticked all the boxes, and third factor, and I don't want to sound boastful here, could also be the kind of company or agency that filed your application, which in this case is AJV, because we have maintained a very good track record with Immigration New Zealand. And in fact, I met some very senior officers in Immigration New Zealand, and I told them saying that, hey, look, we are part of your team in the sense that we are working for exactly the same agenda as you, which is to bring in good quality, high standard, high quality international students into New Zealand and then help them on their entire journey. If some of them want to study and go back home, so be it. We will gladly help them with that. Some of them want to study and find jobs and eventually move into residency. We are happy to help them with that. And that's exactly why, I think Immigration New Zealand also, understands that AJV is not somebody pulling in the other direction. And we have a zero tolerance as a company for fraudulent documents or people with the wrong intentions or fake financial documents and so on. So we do exactly the same work that Immigration New Zealand does. And over a period of time, they will, of course, look at our track record as well and say, hey, look, These guys are actually, kind of working as our support system, but outside the department. So eventually they will realize that we are team members also pulling in the same direction. So yeah, could be a mix of all these factors, Shamal. But many congratulations. Hope to see you here in New Zealand. So high five. Prashant Panchal. Hi, I'm not a AJV member. Too bad, Prashant. You need to change that immediately. Here is my number. Okay, he has given a local number here in New Zealand, and he has said what time he's going to be free. New rules have for PR have changed, but may I know how it got tougher for immigrants? I'm a single person from India working in Ecolab as a production operator. I completed my studies in WinTech. My studies were graduate diploma in operations and production management. Okay, I already see a problem there, Prashant, because I don't know how many years of experience you had before you came to New Zealand, but by and large, we do not suggest production management and those kinds of courses to our students unless they have at least 5+ years of experience, because for somebody to become a production manager or an operations manager, you need to have that previous work experience before you came to New Zealand. So I don't know, I mean, if you're none of our students are finding it very tough, I'm being honest. And you can, I mean, it's not like you can't reach out and connect with some of our students, but by and large we are hearing very good stories about from our students who are coming into the right courses. They're getting our support after the reach, including sometimes all we're doing is getting together sometimes in Auckland, Hamilton, Wellington, different places, and just catching up, just being a bunch of friends and having a nice chat, having a banter, having a couple of drinks and some dinner, and giving them that confidence that everything is going to be all right. And then we are connecting them to some of our existing students who have already completed the course and moved into good positions and so on and so forth. So by and large, so far we have not started receiving any adverse feedback from our students. They seem to be doing well because, as I previously answered just now before, we are ensuring we are picking the right students with all the right attributes, and then helping them and guiding them throughout their journey in New Zealand. So that's probably why they are kind of finding it a little easier. But as far as you are going, why is it tougher for immigrants? Because every government, I think every country has it's a the prerogative of that country and the government of that country to decide upon immigration rules and regulations. And there will be times when they turn on the tap. There will be times when they turn off the tap, depending on their own economic situation. So unfortunately for us as migrants, we tend to look at it only from the migrants' perspective. So we are always looking at New Zealand only through our glasses of being migrants. But New Zealand is much larger than just migrants. So only today, when I was attending that wonderful lecture at the University of Waikato on immigration matters by a very senior researcher and professor. He did talk about the fact that immigration is not always equitable and it will create some inequality. So I guess that's just the way it is, and which is why we are also a very realistic company, and we don't raise the hopes of anybody too much. We are very realistic, and we tell people saying, "Hey, look, this is the possibility. If you keep ticking each box one after the other, for you, I can already see that unless and until you are a 5 or 6 years experienced guy, your course might be a bit of a problem." So that's the way we are working, Prashant. So all the best, and I hope you will get to your destination eventually. And if you need any immigration advice, if you're still living in Hamilton, just walk into our office. We are based on Victoria Street. The number is 456. We are on the ground floor. It is the Westpac building. It is the same building where the immigration department also has their offices on the top floors, but we are on the ground floor. There's a nice big AJV board. But if you want to get in touch with us on the phone, I'm gonna hide my face now and show my those things. I might actually get rid of this because we've gotten rid of this SMS thing in India. So I'm gonna just scratch it out. Okay, so that's the sound of me scratching out on them. I don't think I did a very good job, but anyhow, so okay, guys. So that's what those are the numbers. You can reach out to us on the. I'm gonna turn that to the Instagram people as well. So if you want to get in touch with us, we have offices in India as well as in New Zealand. All of you in New Zealand can reach out to us on the 0800 number in New Zealand, which is 0800 which translates to 0800 my NZPR. Very smart, very clever. We are also very clever people. But anyhow, that's what we guys put. All right. Cool. Next question from Ankit Wagela. Hello, Arun. Not sure if it's a stupid question, but sorry in advance. I like you, Ankit. But hey, look, we are a nice, open, informal forum, and I call myself your friendly and frank licensed immigration advisor. So, no question is stupid. Right? Okay. Apparently, my Facebook session has gone bust. Mhm. Oops. Okay. All right. I'll have to put this back in again. And the way to do that is you'll have to excuse me, guys, for a second. Just having some, oops, technical difficulties. That was funny. I was trying to click around and there you go. I clicked on my own live session. I can hear myself back, but I have been instructed by my wonderful colleague Jyoti that I need to restart Facebook. Facebook is up and running again. So I'll go back to the previous question, which I was trying to answer. I think it got shut off just before I uh, answered Ankit. No, I finished answering Prashant and then I had moved to Ankit. Okay. So Ankit's question was nice. It says, hello, Arun. Not sure if it's a stupid question, but sorry in advance. Good one, Ankit. Does this new amendment in immigration policy for work visa mean we will have to have 79K salary threshold to apply for skilled migrant resident visa? Just a confusion. Anyways, hope you're doing good. Kia pai to boy. Okay, okay, my wonderful friend Tenakwe, Kitapefiakwe, it's wonderful kapai that you continue to use some Maori words, which is fantastic. Really, really proud of you. So the confusion, you don't guys shouldn't get too confused because at the moment that 79K salary threshold is only for people who are getting employment with accredited employers. And the policy going forward as it keeps evolving, they are saying that all employers must get accredited in 2021 or sometime going forward. So we will see how the policy begins to evolve. But right now, there is no immediate danger, Ankit, because it is not touching the skilled migrant category. It is only touching the accredited employer category. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. But hey, look, that is the whole advantage you have of being an AJV client is that if policies change, if things keep changing, we will keep giving you the most latest up to date advice and information and tell you how we can overcome these challenges that will keep cropping up. Policies keep changing. In fact, there was a lot of hue and cry about the fact that they also raised the money for parent category resident visa. So, I mean, like I keep saying, guys, the government of any country, whether it is New Zealand or in any other country, is like a gigantic beast. You can't go hit your head against it. My advice to all of you who out there is absolutely no point wasting our energy and trying to uh, fight against the government because it's pointless. The government comes to these decisions after doing their own analysis and research, and there'll be committees and senior people who take this decision. So we just have to learn to go with the flow of these policy changes, and that is where all our AGV clients will constantly have us. At the moment, there is no risk for the skilled migrant category, Ankit. So as of today, if you have finished your course, you're on your post-study work visa, and you get a relevant job, and you get 52K salary, you will still be eligible to go ahead and apply for a resident visa. Let's see how it keeps shaping up the going forward, because the interesting clause they've come out with is that all employers will also need to be accredited by the time, I think by end of 2021, something like that is what I was reading upon. If that changes, we will see how we can continue to change our advice to you. But at the end of the day, you guys will have to understand that New Zealand is a country of migrants, and they will never ever do anything stupid or silly, or so dramatically harsh that the entire tab gets turned off, because migrants do contribute quite significantly to New Zealand's economic growth and cultural growth and social growth. So also do, of course, the local Kiwis and citizens and everybody else. But migrants, while by not being a very big segment of population, will also contribute quite significantly, and that is quite significant in terms of what they can bring in, because we have skill shortages here in New Zealand, and if they are ongoing and sustained skill shortages, that means that people locally here are not able to fulfill those. So either the government has to train the local Kiwi boys and girls to in those particular areas to be able to go up and take those positions, or import that talent from somewhere else. And who better than international students who are already in New Zealand and understand the ethos and culture of New Zealand, and then they can fit in very well into the workplace. All right, Ankit. So don't worry too much about it, and hopefully, you'll be all right. But hey, look, you're a AJB boy, and you will continue to get our continuous advice as always, not only in those live sessions, but all of you will get that anytime you guys want to. All you have to do is pick up the phone and speak to Virginia, Mary, myself, or anybody else, and we are there for you guys. All right, cool. I want to drink some water. And is there anybody smart out there who can tell me why I am not getting my questions on the Facebook? It's very, very frustrating. And this after I had just restarted my session as well. So those three dots are not doing anything. Mm, anyhow, cool. Next question is Shankar K, who will share this number and says, "Hello, Harun. Hope you're doing great. Been a while since I've been in contact with your team. Currently, myself and my wife have completed 11 years of work experience. What are our chances of getting a work visa slash PR?" Shankar, thanks for getting back in touch. First and foremost, good to see that you're back in touch with us. If people have taken a bit of a break and then coming back to us, it means we've left some kind of an impression on you guys for you to come back and talk to us. So much appreciated for that. So you say you and your wife have both completed 11 years of work experience. I must be honest, off the top of my head, I don't really remember your profiles. But if you both completed 11 years of work experience in something like information technology or in the engineering background, there might be a very good chance that you will qualify for something called the not for a direct resident visa, but there is something introduced as an interim called the skill migrant category job search visa. But the only issue with that job search visa is it will take some time. And also, not only will it take time, but they will not allow you to come in as a couple. Only one of you will get that job search visa. And then once you come into the country, you can then look for a job in your relevant field. All the subject, to, of course, you getting that visa in the first place. And then you can come into New Zealand and find a relevant job. And then your residency gets approved if the immigration officer finds everything is in sync with the policy requirements at that particular time. Now, instead, and this is my suggestion to a couple of young couples like you, Shankar, who where both husband and wife are working, and I'm thinking you might be from the. Uh, I'm thinking you must be one of our sorry, you might be from an IT background is what I'm thinking. So if you're both from the IT background, Shankar, I think you must consider very seriously that one of you comes here for a master's course and the other one comes here as a spouse but with a full work visa. Because if one of you is coming on a master's course, that student will get part-time work rights while studying, and then a 3 years post-study work visa, and the spouse will get full working rights from day one, and then 3 years additional. So 4 years of work visa, full work visa for the spouse accompanying, and 3.5 years of work visa for whoever is coming as the student. And if you're coming in with an IT background, I can tell you that from our own experience, that a lot of our clients who came in where one of the partners is working and studying, and the other one is coming on a work visa, they are cracking jobs and they are getting to the residency much much faster. So I would like you to consider that seriously, Shankar, and because you've shared your number, one of our team members will get in touch with you. But alternately, if you think, hey, look, we don't want to invest money into education again, uh, then send us your CVs. We can assess to see if you make it for the job search visa under the skilled migrant category. But as I told you, that there's a lot of restrictions in terms of only one of you can come, and many situations couples don't like that because they want to come here together and be here and kind of make their future together. So I'd seriously suggest you take a look at the study pathway as a settlement pathway seriously, because even the money you spend towards fee and everything, you guys will earn it back within 3 4 months, because the student is getting 3.5 years of work visa, and the spouse is going to get uh, you know uh, the full 4 years of work visa. So, frankly, you will earn it back within no time. So, I would like you to consider the study pathway seriously, because it's faster, quicker, and will get you to residency much faster. All right, cool. Umar Isa, hi Arun, are international PhD students allowed to own and operate their own business? Good question. I don't think so, Umar, because you're essentially here on a student visa. But the spouse of the PhD student who is on a work visa, I think will be allowed to set up a business. All right, cool. Right, Rosemary. Hello, Arun sir. I'm an AJB student. I got into B call today, but waiting for outcome. Let me know what all service I can get from AJB after reaching New Zealand. Rosemary, I think you are Ronnie's wife, and in fact, Ronnie's was one of the first questions I answered today. So yeah, don't worry, we are all here for you. And a warm welcome, Rosemary, and we hope to see you here very soon, as well as Ronnie. Yeah. Right, Mohammad Saeed Ahmed, IT job scope like network and security. Very good, Mohammad. In fact, Saeed, sorry, quite a lot of fast students who are completing these courses are finding good jobs, relevant jobs, and also moving towards residency. So, yeah, I would say pretty good scope. Shubham Chauhan, hello, sir. I've done MBA in marketing and finance, and I got 6.5 overall, but 5.5 in speaking. Give me advice. What should I do to come to New Zealand? Well, Shubham, if you're looking at coming here to study, then I would say you have two options of considering possibly a graduate diploma outside Auckland, because that will still give you 2 years post-study work visa, during which you can hopefully find a relevant job and move towards an eventual residency. But if you are quite keen to get a 3 year post-study work visa and also get into a postgraduate level course, I might want to encourage you to go back and write your IELTS again, because you're this close actually. You came up to 6.5 overall, which is great, which is what we require for a PG course. And then you only fell short of zero point 0.5 in speaking. But because all institutions here in New Zealand are governed and audited and checked thoroughly by a government agency called New Zealand Qualifications Authority, or NZQA, they will not take the risk of giving you an admission. So you will either have to go back and write your IELTS and get a 6 in speaking as well, or opt for a lower level course like a graduate diploma. And if you take it outside Auckland, you will still get a 2 years post-study work visa, which is good enough time. In fact, till last year it was only 1 year, so now everybody is to get only 1 year. But now people are getting 1 or 2 or 3 years, so it is a good thing. So, Shivam, have a chat with my team, and we will see. Have a look at the graduate diploma. Something might appeal to you, especially for a guy who's done an MBA in marketing and finance. And don't worry that you've already done an MBA. Can you step down and do a graduate diploma? We'll have a chat with you. Sometimes it can be a concern from an angle of whether a visa officer will actually approve a visa. But hey, look, from my experience, a lot of times we've had people who have done masters and other things and step down in a course where it was the genuine reason for you to take up that particular course. There was never real much of a problem. All right, cool. Okay, okay. Shankara Raghu Babu. Hi, everyone. Can I get my kid to New Zealand while I'm on post-study work visa? He is just 8 years old. Make him study here in New Zealand. And what will be my visa status then? Okay. Raghu, I think, yeah, of course you can get your kid to New Zealand while you're on a post-study work visa. Yeah, and because you're already on a work visa, your kid would also be able to get domestic student status, which means you can admit him or her into a school here in New Zealand, and your status will be still on a work visa, so there won't be any changes to your status. But you know what? I would recommend. Oops, sorry, guys. I would recommend that you get in touch with my colleague Mary. Call her on that number 0800 6969777 and give a call to Mary because Mary is also my senior colleague and also a licensed immigration advisor. So it will be good for you to have a chat with her. But I don't see any problem when you're getting your kid over. All right. Okay, Lijo Francis asks MBM of University of Waikato better or AUT? It was like asking which of my, excuse me, which of my friends is better. I will be partially inclined towards the University of Waikato because I'm a Waikato boy and I live in Hamilton. So obviously my heart beats a little louder for for Hamilton and Waikato. But hey, look, both of them are fantastic. Uh, you know, uh, to how do I put it, Lijo? Both of them are fantastic institutions, but if push comes to shove, I might actually recommend University of Waikato over AUT. I'll tell you the reason. Because first and foremost, the government's policies are towards future migrants is changing in such a way that they're encouraging people to move out of Auckland. So if you go study in Auckland, chances are that more than likely you will end up getting stuck into Auckland, which is why we encourage people to start their journey in New Zealand from outside Auckland at the very first step, which is to get into. And the MBM in University of Waikato is really really good. And in fact, I'm just a couple of hours back, I was at the University of Waikato, and I just came back from there, and it's an amazing university, one of the best business schools in the world, actually, not just in New Zealand. And I strongly believe also being present in the same city where AJB is headquartered. We have our office on the main street here in Hamilton, and we have a fantastic community of our students and other seniors who have also done a similar course. I think you will actually benefit from all those connections as well. Sorry, Lijo. And so I would, if I really had to pick and choose Lijo, I would actually take the MBA from University of Waikato for all these reasons. Great institution, fantastic faculty, the campus is mine, it's beautiful, and then you'll have AJB to back you continuously day and night. You can walk into our office whenever you want and have a chat with us. So I would actually, it's difficult to pick between two universities that we both work with, but I would say, yep, University of Waikato definitely gets my tick. Okay, plus you'll have us right next door to you every day. Okay, all right, Liju. Caleb asked, hello, what does it take to secure study permit in New Zealand? Well, I mean, Caleb, if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel called Arun Jacob. So just go to YouTube and search for Arun Jacob, and this wonderful face will come up there. And there is one which says, how can I get a New Zealand student visa? We've stopped using the word permit. It's only visa now. Earlier, it used to be we used to call it student permit, but now it's changed to it's all just visa now. So the student visa, essentially, what do you want? You need to have. This is my copyright, by the way, guys and girls. Please don't use it without giving me my royalty. Okay. So I defined visa. What is visa for a student? So V stands for verifiable funds. I stands for impressive or improvable English. S stands for sincerity of purpose, and A stands for academic or work track record. So that's VISA visa. That's all you require. You have these four things in place, you'll be able to get your visa. But Caleb, what I recommend is get in touch with our team because we are all experts without wanting to sound immodest, but we really are bloody good at the work we do. So, you please get in touch with us. And if you're good enough for New Zealand, we will get your visa. Don't worry about it. Okay, cool. Ocean Planet asks, bro, can I come to work there with no any professional skills? No, bro, cannot possible, bro. Unfortunately, yeah, even you need to have some kind of professional skills, my bro, to be able to get a work visa to come and work in New Zealand. So yeah, too bad, my friend. Too bad. Work on your skills and get some professional skills into place. Okay, right. Shankara Babu, my colleague Neha is asking me for you to share your contact number, Shankara Raghu Babu, because we want to get in touch with you, and we would like to help you. So please share your contact number. If you want, just inbox it to me. If you don't want to share it here on a public platform, just inbox it to me, and I'll be happy to give it to my colleague Neha, who, by the way, is an ex-immigration officer. And between all of us, will provide you with the best solution for your child. Okay, cool. All right. Shamal Parekh again writes, I believe it's because of AJV and a little bit of luck. Can't be my educational profile and two big crying faces or laughing faces. Whatever it is, I'm so happy and thankful to you guys. Kudos to AJV and INZ. Hey, Shamal, thank you very much, mate. Loved, loved working with all you guys. And yeah, I'm so glad. Okay. Now there is somebody called Maddie Cott who has asked me a question, but one of my team leaders, Maddie, is really mad at you because she's written, please don't answer Maddie Cott. He's only taking information. So, Maddie, I think my team is really, really mad with you, my friend. So, could you please send, give some more. Indications that you're serious about coming to New Zealand and working with us, and then my team won't be as mad as they are with you right now. So it'll be good if you can share that, Maddie. And but I'll have to respect my team members, otherwise they'll all gang up on me and beat me up. So I better be careful. Okay, cool. Thai chirotherapy. Hello, everyone. Vinith here. Is your company is working to help your clients. Hello, Arun. Vinith here. Is your company AJV is working to help your clients or to prove them right or wrong because your employees did with you recently? Thanks. Me and my wife worked on the documentation for past 3 months, but just in one meeting, our dream to go to New Zealand was shattered in 1 hour. They said they were meeting to help us, but instead we were interrogated as we are criminals. My wife, Anjali, is under so much of stress now. I think before sending any married couple, you should verify their status so they don't undergo so much of stress. Hey, look. Sorry, Vinith. Hi, Vinith. I'm very sorry to get that feedback, and I think you've also mentioned the name of my team member. I will have a chat with her and understand what exactly has happened. But thank you for bringing it to our notice. This is the first time, Vinith, by the way, that I got feedback like this. So I mean, it's not something nice for us to get feedback by like that, because we actually are very friendly and frank with all our clients all the time. So I'm a little surprised, and we work with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of couples, and this is absolutely not right that I'm getting feedback like that. So Vineet and Anjali, my apologies if you thought you were not treated well. Um, so I'll get to the bottom of this. All right. Yeah. Right. Nihal Raj, sir, what are your services? Sorry, what are your views about tourism from Lincoln University Christchurch, PG course? I have done hotel management from IHM Chennai. Please do reply, sir. Hey, Nihal, Lincoln is a fantastic institution, no doubt about it. But if you are a guy who come from a hotel management background, I'm trying to see why you're trying to take up tourism, because you sound more like a hospitality guy than a tourism guy. So the course in itself and is fantastic, of course, and New Zealand is a massive tourism orientated country. So obviously there will be opportunities. But you sound like a guy who uh, seem to have more of an inclination towards hospitality than tourism, and there can be two separate things. So, could I suggest that you have a chat with our team, Nihal, because both are, I mean, tourism and hospitality are close. They are linked to each other. I'm not saying no, but if your real interest and your background and your experience is in hospitality, then you probably will be better off sticking to hospitality rather than getting into tourism. But if you say, hey, look, I already have enough hospitality background and I'd like to add another arrow in my quiver in the form of tourism, yeah, absolutely not a problem. I think Lincoln is a fantastic university, no doubt about it, but we can give you some other options as well. And I hope you are working with AJV, because besides the university and the course and the subject, you will also require a lot of good local support, and that's why AJV students are doing so well. And I expect I would request you and everybody else who is following this live broadcast to please consider working seriously with a company like AGV, because as I keep saying, guys, the drama starts after you come to New Zealand, and you'll require advice at each and every step, right from your course selection to the time you land to while you're doing your course. And recently one of my students complained saying that she thought she was being discriminated against in her institution. So I wrote a stinker to that institution, and immediately everybody from the top level to everybody else wrote back apologies and said, invited the student to come and meet them and sorted it out and things. So that's the kind of care and attention we give to our students and our clients. Unlike a lot of other companies who are not based in New Zealand, so they will work with you. They might do a good job of getting you your visa, but once you get your visa, they'll wave goodbye and they'll never turn around and look at you again. So, as against us, who not only will help you in your country of origin, but we will. I think most importantly, we provide very good information and service and guidance and friendship after you come to New Zealand. All right, guys. So if you're smart, please choose AJW. Guys, I am tired. Okay, guys, I'm just scrolling through to see if I have missed any question, and my team has also did that, which you guys all know what that means. Time's up. Time's up for today, guys. Okay, but I'm gonna just scroll through to make sure today and that I haven't missed anybody or anything. Okay, cool. Okay, okay. All right. I think I seem to have covered pretty much everything. And Yuvraj asks, sir, I want to know whether a person on tourist visa can buy residential property in New Zealand. No, Yuvraj. They've changed uh, the policy, and foreigners cannot own property in New Zealand any longer. Brown boy take my dear friend from Wellington says Arun Token Town being with the merging of politics under ROVE reform of vocational education. Several level 7 and 8 courses are already and few closing down, including business and IT. Your say, I think that's what it was all about to kind of do a rejig of the entire polytechnic sector, which is good. Nobody rejigs anything to make it worse. They will always try to enhance and make it better. All right, guys. So on that note, I shall take leave for today. I hope this new timing works for all of you. It certainly did for me because I could go and attend a fantastic lecture at the University of Waikato. And one last time to Lijo, I think, who was asking me, AUT or Waikato? Definitely Waikato, Lijo. We have become a Hamilton boy and a Waikato boy, a guy like me, and we'll all hang out together. Okay. Bye, guys. One last time. This is the contact details. I'll hide my tired face behind it. But in case you guys want to get in touch with us, that's what you do. And once you get in touch with us, if you deserve to be in New Zealand, we will get you here into New Zealand. Good night, Pomarie, which is the Maori word for good night, and Kakiteano, which is see you later. Bye bye.